So what do we have up first today, Mittens?
Well, first we're going to start talking about the news that we've missed so far, since it's been about a week and some change since we've been on. We got quite a few things to talk about. It looks like
Yes.
we have Evil Dead the game came out while we were taking a
Yes.
little
On
sabbatical.
Friday the 13th of all days. And what's
Yes.
funny is the game was supposed to come out in February of this year, but they delayed it to May 13th, and everybody's like, "Oh, why are you delaying it?" I think they had some stuff to do with it, and keep in mind, delays is going to come up a lot in this episode today, so just keep that in mind. Now, they
Keyword of the
delayed
day.
it. Yeah, they delayed it to May 13th, which everybody's like, "Oh, Friday the 13th. Ooh, that's spooky day," because it is Friday the 13th. Now, I have been playing through Evil Dead the game since it released last Friday. Really fun game. I'm really enjoying it. Actually, I don't think by the time this goes live, it won't be last Friday anymore. But it's a fun game. It does take a lot from Friday the 13th, Dead by Daylight. I want to say Predator Hunting Grounds as well. Yeah, Friday the 13th, the game is kind of in limbo right now because of some real life lawsuits going on with the creators. And that's a whole other story for another different set of podcasts and stuff. But they had to basically put the game on hold. There's been no developments on that since then. So everybody's been going to Dead by Daylight playing that. Now, this game does feel a lot more like Dead by Daylight, except sue me. I didn't like Dead by Daylight. The little bit I played of it, I could not stand it. This game is like that, but so much better. It's also like Friday the 13th, but so much better because you get to choose through about 8, 10 different characters, I believe it is. And there is a story mode, but the game is mostly multiplayer. And when I say story mode, it's very light on the story. The cutscenes are basically just a graphic on the screen that says what's going on, what you're supposed to do. Here's your objective, do this, do that. And it serves as like a tutorial of sorts. Now, yes, there is a tutorial in the game. It's kind of, you have training wheels on in the tutorial. I'm not going to lie. There's a path that's showing you to go this way, around, that way, do this, do that, do that, do that. Um, the single player missions are pretty fun. They're like basically multiplayer matches without other players, but you can complete them in about 10, 20 minutes. And then if you die, it's basically game over. You got to start over on the missions because there is nobody to help you and revive you or anything. So they're fun, and each one of them takes place in a different part of Evil Dead movies. So I've only played through two of them, and you've probably seen them already on the channel. I did episode 1, which took place in Evil Dead 2. I did chapter 2, which took place in Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is the TV show. The current one that I'm about to record is Army of Darkness, which is one of my favorites in the entire series. So that's going to be fun. And then I'm not sure what the others are, but the cool thing about it is if you want to play certain characters, you have to play through the mission mode to unlock those characters. So if you want to play as Pablo from Ash vs. Evil Dead, you have to play through, I think, the last mission in mission mode. There's 6 of them, but the last one is basically locked and just says coming soon. I don't know if you have to complete all 5 first and then it unlocks, or if it's one of those things it's like later in the DLC line it's gonna pop up and give you some extra characters to use. So right now it just says coming soon, and it doesn't have anything that says what or implies what movie it's going to be. Now, when it comes to the multiplayer side of it, you can play as either the survivors or the demons. And here's the best part of it: you can play with AI bots if you do not want to play with other people. I've been playing through the AI
Very nice.
bots, and either way, I have yet to win a match because I once you get to that end part, it's a tough one. Now, the point of the game is to basically find 3 pages of a map or 3 pieces of a map to find out where a dagger and the Necronomicon are from the movies. I forget the name of the dagger, but it's the I want to say the Catharian dagger. I gotta watch the movie again to see what it was called, but I'm drawing a blank on it. I know it starts with a K, and I'm having a blank on it right now. But once you find those 2 things, you have to go and defeat the demons that are basically guarding you know, the book and area and right. So that's the spot where it can get very challenging because in the tutorial it was easy and there weren't deadites running at me left and right. In an actual game, there are deadites running at you left, right, up, down, front, back, and then basically the boss of the level. So each level has a certain boss. I've only seen Evil Ash from Army of Darkness and then his 2 minions, which are these giant deadites, and those guys are pretty tough. So they're very hard to. If you're not careful, they could wipe you out in no time. Just you're done. And it's good to have other people playing too. like that's one of the things I like about playing with the human people or human players is because they'll revive you easily. If you have AI players, they might not revive you easily because it's AI players. But you also got to watch out because sometimes they can get possessed, and when they're possessed, it's probably for about I want to say 30 seconds, maybe 30 seconds to a minute. They're possessed, and you have no control. If you get possessed, you have no control of what you're doing. It just does it for you. Starts attacking your teammates for you, and you're just like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? Because it happened last week to me when I was playing. I got possessed, and my teammates shooting me. I was like, please stop shooting me. I'm not trying to
Hey,
do this on purpose.
so the best way to, I guess, strategize in that game would be definitely having comms with people that you're playing with so that you know when they're possessed and if they're coming after you, right?
Yes, that is true. But every game I've played, nobody had a mic, so I was just like,
Damn.
it is what it is. I think I don't think you can die when you've been possessed. I didn't at least. I got possessed and then probably about 30 seconds later I was back to normal. And I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll go back to doing what I was doing." And then I got hit and I was bleeding out and people were trying to save me. They were getting hit too and I was like, "Well, this match is pretty much shot. We're done here." Um Now it does play kind of like when you start off, it plays a little like Warzone or any battle royal game where you start off with no weapons and you have to go through and find weapons. The only thing that I really don't like about the game is the fact that when you're finding the map pages or the pieces of the map, it doesn't show you exactly where they are. There's a little thing in the top that says, okay, go to the dead end. There's a piece of the map somewhere in that area. And you're like, oh shit, where is it? And you go over to that area and you're just like, okay, I'm going to walk around until I see where this piece of the map is. And then usually it'll pop up, as you're walking around. And sometimes it's not even in that area. It just says near, which means you have to go further down the road to find it. And then you'll finally find it. And you're like, oh, here it is. And I've wasted 10 minutes trying to find this damn piece of the map.
Yeah.
That's something that just gets on my nerves because you're wasting time trying to find it. But once you do find it, like sometimes somebody else will find it and you're good. And then each match is about 30 minutes. I don't know what happens when the timer runs out because I've not had that happen. I've always either died beforehand or somebody left the match and they got booted out and screwed us all, like screwed the whole match up. So we couldn't really do much of anything there. But I do like that. I like that you can go find weapons and you do find your legendary weapons as well. You'll sometimes see those. And one cool thing is the human players that are demons, they can possess trees. So you'll be running around and a tree will just and grab you and you're like, oh Jesus, what the hell? If
Oh.
you've ever seen Evil Dead, that's something that happened in the movie.
I'm not good with horror, so I'll probably never play it. I mean, I'm perfectly fine watching somebody play it,
Yeah.
but just the panic of being surrounded by like deadites, or are they
Hmm.
like zombies? That's kind of what they are.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
definitely it was definitely it's gotten me a few times and there's sometimes where you can hide. If you've seen Evil Dead 2, Ash cuts off his hand. Sorry, spoilers to a movie that's been out since 1987 or whenever that movie came out. He cuts off his hand and it became possessed, so he cut it off. Now there's times where you see a chest and you're like, okay, cool, there's a chest here, I can get some loot. You open it up and the hand pops out and just grabs your face and everything.
Ah!
And it happens with that, and it also happens with the little tiny ashes, which I think were in the TV show and they might have been in one of the movies too. And they jump out and start crawling over whoever you're playing as, and they start freaking out. It was one of those things. I'm just like, oh, damn it! I thought there was something in there, not a bunch of little tiny mini me's and a hand that's gonna choke me or something. So that's something that you never know when it's gonna happen. And there is a trophy for hiding the hand inside a chest and then having somebody get scared from that hand. There's also the ability to drive vehicles because the maps are so huge. It's not always the same map. I think each one of them is a different area from a movie because there were some maps that took place from the TV show. There were some maps that took place from the second and third movies. Well, actually, no, just the first and second movie. I don't think I've seen anything that was Army of Darkness related yet, except for the characters. And it's just a really fun game. I'm definitely going to try and do some matches, online and then record them for YouTube, or I might even just do an AI match here and there, just do that, knock it out after I'm done with the mission mode and everything. But I'm hoping that the game at least lives on a little bit and it doesn't like die off anytime soon, because a lot of these times these games they come out and it's a death wish for some games that are multiplayer only, because they'll if the user base isn't there, then it's done. Like I don't hear anything about Predator Hunting Grounds anymore. Friday the 13th, I already mentioned the reason why there's not much going on with that game. So it's just basically Dead by Daylight, and that is it. It's like all these brawler games, they flop because they're not Super Smash Brothers.
I feel like for someone who loves a good story too, such a short story would be kind of anticlimactic to me, especially since there is such big lore behind this series
Mm-hmm.
with the movies and the shows and stuff like that. You would think they put a little bit more effort into it. It sounds like the maps are so massive too. Is there like if it's a battle royale-ish, does it have like something that closes you in, or are you just welcome to go anywhere, everywhere at all times?
I don't think I've gotten to that in any of the multiplayer matches yet, but there is, and I'm assuming if this is happening in the mission modes, that it's going to happen in the game also. There's one area within the current mission that I'm in. You get enclosed, and okay, I take that back. Yes, there are areas where you'll see smoke around the area, but this only happens in mission mode. Like I said, I have not seen it happen in the store in the multiplayer yet, but it'll close you in, and you have to defeat 12 deadites before it can open back up. And sometimes they're just throwing the big ones at you, and you're like, shoot. So basically, the brutes from Halo, you got to fight 3 of those at once with a puny shotgun and a chainsaw. And it's just like, oh my God. And so I was recording one episode and I kept dying. And I said, you know what? We're going to start it over because I don't want to. There's no checkpoint in the mission mode. So if you die, that's it. You got to start over. And I'm sitting there going, well, okay, let me start it over. And I thought, okay, maybe I could just splice it together. I was like, no, 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 no. We're going to do one episode and one episode only. That's it. So when it comes to the multiplayer, yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where when you do something in the mission mode, it unlocks in the multiplayer. So chances are that might happen, but I have yet to see it happen in the multiplayer. It's just easy to get lost. And one of the times I was playing a match with some people, we all got in a car, and I'm trying to drive to where they basically put a waypoint and everything. I'm trying to drive to it, and I'm going all different directions. I'm like, where the hell is this thing? And I'm opening the map trying to find it. And I said, okay, I'm going the right way, but this road is going all over the place. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going. So yeah, it can be a little tedious at times inside of the map. But once you figure out where you're going, it's not that bad. And I just need to play it more to memorize the maps. But like I said, they throw you into a different map each time, and a lot of them are the same. Just one of them has snow, one of them has this, one of them has that, and you're just like, God dang it, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah. Yeah, I do that they'll probably have a couple of things they're gonna have to fix on that, especially with maybe more character selections or maybe like special abilities or something like that. Because I know in different other like games in that same genre, there's usually something that you maybe specialize in as that character and you benefit the team in some way, shape, or form compared to somebody else.
So yeah, they have a bunch of different variants of Ash. They have obviously Ash from the TV show Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, and then Evil Dead 1. The thing is, when you're playing a match, and the cool thing was, I got a code. You know what? I'll just show you right now. I got a code from the game that is basically you play as, and the code's already been used, so I'm not going to show y'all. It is Ash from the Knight Armor, and then the S Smart at the end of Army of Darkness. Now, I thought, okay, if I'm playing as one of those costumes, then nobody else is going to play as that character. I thought different costumes meant different characters. No, I played in a game where everybody was Ash, a different version, and I'm like, well, crap. So I played as Kelly from the TV show, who I actually like that character more because her finishing moves are that much more awesome. That's another thing. You get to do a finishing move on all the enemies and everything, and some of them are just brutal and gross and disgusting, and I would not expect anything less from this series to be disgusting and brutal and gross. It's just awesome. But like you said, I would have rather much had and a lot of people said this too, they would have rather much had a legit single player to this game and not just multiplayer only. Usually when games get announced like that, like when they announced Friday the 13th, I said, hell yeah, oh, it's multiplayer only.
Yeah.
Not so sure about that. Ghostbusters, yeah, oh, multiplayer only. Predator, made by the Friday the 13th guys. Oh, multiplayer only.
Yeah, but it's like if they're gonna maybe make it an MMO or something like that, something that's gonna be so massive and have all these side quests, if you're gonna make it multiplayer only.
So I think that's why they added the AI offline bots in this game, is because they're like, look, the servers could go down at a moment's notice, it's not active anymore. They shut down the servers. It gives you a reason to still play the game in some form in the AI offline matches if you're playing that way. I wish Friday the 13th had done something like that where you can still play as a counselor. Now, I don't mind playing as Jason, but I also like running from Jason too. And those servers are kind of hit or miss now these days, like for Friday the 13th. I thought they were shutting them down, but I was playing on a Switch the other day and it was still trying to find a match for me. I was like, well, I don't want to find a match. I just want to play the game. So,
Yeah.
and they were going to add a lot of stuff to that game. They were going to add a single player mode, I believe, that was going to be a story mode. And then all the crap happened in real life with the creators and everything, and they had to shut everything down. Like, they haven't even made a movie. They shut down the movie they were making. They had to shut down everything that was related to Friday the 13th that was new because one writer was mad he wasn't getting the proper recognition for writing the first script. So, but that's been resolved. So we'll see what happens with that series. I mean, I'd like to have another game, but the first Evil Dead game that came out was Hail to the King on the PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast. It sucked. It controls like crap. I'm still going to play it for the channel, but it controls poorly. Then they made another one, Fistfull of Boomstick, another story-related game. That one was more of like I don't know if you remember the game State of Emergency. It was like a GTA. You just go through and causing havoc. It's kind of like that. It was a little light on the story, but it had fun gameplay. And then there was
Okay.
Regeneration, which was the last one to come out before this one. And that was a story-based game, which felt kind of like The Suffering. And each one of them was trying to basically capture that feel and give something to the fans that was a story game. So I guess this one, they were just like, hey, you know what? You know what's hot right now? Multiplayer games. Let's make a game and
Yeah.
let's make it multiplayer only. So we'll see
So
what
you like
happens.
it. So you
I,
like it. There's some iffy parts about it, but you like it.
I'm having fun with it, but there's some parts that yes, I'm iffy on, and they can work on, like the finding the pages and everything. They should probably patch that and make it a little bit easier to find them. Like they could have put in a ping system too. Just hit a ping and find out it pings all over the map, and you can kind of see the area that it's in because some games do that. I think Assassin's Creed recently did that. Assassin's Creed
They do that in
Odyssey,
a lot of their
yeah,
in their games. Yeah.
Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla have done that where you hit the I think L3 button and it'll ping, or push down or whatever on the D-pad, and it'll ping and show you all the treasures that are in that vicinity, and you can go find them and just keep pinging until you find it. So they could have just done
Yeah.
something like that, maybe add that in, but I don't know if that's easy for them to do now that the game's already done and finished and out the door. I mean, they probably could. They probably could add another system. It's a new game. They're still working out the kinks. They're still adding stuff in. There's a season pass right now, but I'm not going to get it because there's really no reason for me to have it right now. There's nothing out. I don't even know what's going to be in the season pass. They don't say on the PlayStation Store. It does not say what is in the season pass. It's $30. I'm like, that's way too much for
Too
right
much.
now. Way too much. I already paid $20 for the game because I had a Target gift card. I used it to pay for half of the game, and then the other half went to my card and everything. So there it is. Evil Dead, the game. That's my favorite character right there. I actually met her in real life a few years back. She's pretty cool. I like her.